Hello. This video doesn't necessarily have a point that I'm building to. I'm just gonna kind of talk about my experience of time recently and how that's kind of evolved over the past few months. And there might be some points along the way that connect, but we will see. Um, when I Before I started on this like big reawakening journey back in July, um, I remember not necessarily praying because I didn't necessarily believe in God, but kind of pleading to the void that like, hey, please help me. I know that time is going too fast for me and I need help. And that was true. I Moments were happening at a rate that I could not process. I can't necessarily explain to you how it's different now, but other than it's no longer as like one after another, like no time to breathe. And as I repeatedly keep finding out, is that prayers are not always answered in the way that you expect. Because now, instead, my time is not time. I don't know. Um, my life is kind of split into two distinct different sections. One where I am experiencing time, and the entire time I'm in that place, I'm lamenting how much time I've wasted. And then there's moments like now where I'm in the time that I will say is wasted because it just goes in a blink of an eye because you're not really perceiving it. You're just kind of being, and one thing flows into the next, and there's not really time to think about other things because I it's become very apparent to me recently that that is what my experience of time is, or it's been a very major part, is judgment. Judgment of truly everything. And I have learned that I am very good at judging things. If you need someone to find your insecurity and validate it, I'm your guy. About myself, about others, about every situation. I can, if I want to judge, I can do it, and I am practiced at it, so I can just go and go and go, and like a snowball rolling down a hill, it just builds and builds and builds until it's unstoppable, until you're ripped out of eternity. Because that's where I am now, and this is where I truly want to be. This is the time when I'm in eternity where there is no I'm no longer suffering. I'm no longer upset. There's nothing to be upset about. There's no time to be wasting. There is only right now. It's not being misspent. If anything, it's being misspent when I'm spending the time lamenting all of the things that don't exist, futures, pasts, potential, everything, things that could have been, that are not. Trying to make them real within my mind, which can never be. I've also become very aware recently that the best way I can describe it is that like my experience of time is like a piece of origami where there are different folds all around, and each little section of the fold there is a aspect of myself stored there. An aspect of a self. It's not myself. It is a limitation of myself that I identify with. And I've got hundreds of them, like little horcruxes around that which is my ego. each clinging to its own thing, each serving its own primary goal. I'm finding that a major issue in my past has been never fully grasping the reality of the situation that you only have one primary goal in life. Like everything serves one primary goal, whether you're aware of what that is or not. And if you're not aware of what that is, it can be doubly dangerous, or even more so, because you can trick yourself into having dozens, hundreds of multiple goals that you all think are primary. You may not recognize that in the moment, but every time you give your attention to it, it is your primary focus. It is your primary goal. And it may only last for a moment and then never again. But in that moment, it takes away your goal. And specifically, there are many little aspects of myself that serve goals that I never never truly have any intention to follow through to completion, because ultimately my primary goal right now is God focused. Because for the first time, when that is the primary goal, it's able to be looked upon without fear. For all of my life, I've very heavily relied on distraction in every regard. Like if I ever had homework, I could never really do it until like it was the end of the night, like I was about to go to bed. Like it had to be done. It was the only thing I could focus on. Like the anxiety of that fully like brought me into that moment where I could do it. Otherwise, my eye would allow distraction after distraction to seep in and give me false goals. Like if I had to do an essay, I could never do it until the night before, because that was the only time I could give my attention. Like you could sit me in front of a computer with no internet, with only Microsoft Word on it for 5 hours, and I wouldn't write a paragraph because my brain will just allow distraction after distraction. And I think the reason that always was is because if I were to really get down to it for all of my life, if I really were to examine what was going on, I never had an answer that had any substance, that had any meaning, that had any focus or anything to be proud of. So if you were to actually fully focus on the moment, if you were truly to focus on what is happening right now, where are you, what is this, there would be an answer of I don't know, or it's nothing, and all of this is meaningless. And with that, you just spiral. So the answer is distract. And that's hindered me so many times in my life. Like I said, I couldn't really do homework for most of my life until the night before. I was basically in a perpetual state of stress. Like every day, homework was stress because I only knew doing it under intense stress because I won't be able to sleep if I don't. That followed through to post school, to really all of my life. It was just this thing I never really addressed. And now I'm in this different part of my life, and it's interesting because I continue to allow myself to be distracted. I continue to allow my focus to be pulled in direction after direction after direction, taking me away from my main goal. And it's in many ways like I just forget, because for the first time I'm in a place where when I focus on one goal, the goal of becoming one with God, living in this place forever, fully allowing myself to be taken by the stream that is existence, whatever you want to call it. whenever I allow myself to be within that, I fully am in a peace and bliss that I've never experienced before, and it's all I want. So why do I allow myself to be pulled out by distraction after distraction? Like, I'll give you what's going on with me right now. I've talked before about how I'm doing A Course in Miracles. I'm like 3/4 of the way through, but that really is kind of my primary focus. Like, I know that is something I need to finish. It is something I am benefiting from greatly, immeasurably. Yet, repeatedly, I'll find myself distracting myself without even like being aware of it. I'll just notice, oh, wait, I've just been scrolling on my phone for the last 45 minutes. I wanted to be doing A Course in Miracles. What's happening? Or like, why am I listening to this lecture that I got suggested on YouTube? Like, I don't know. I don't really have any interest in this. This was just like a shot in the dark. Why am I listening to this? There are other things to do, and I think there needs to be that unlearning, or like that conscious remembering that this this focus is where love, where the love is. Every moment I get taken out of this, it's only judgment, judgment of others, and as a result, judgment on myself. The perception of time, and with that, allowing the ability to feel boredom, to feel like time isn't being spent wisely, that you don't have enough time, all of these things that only come when you allow judgment. There needs to be a conscious remembrance. I think that'll do it. I appreciate you listening to the end. Thank you so much for watching. Many blessings. Peace.